let's go ahead and open Minitab. And here in the worksheet, you can see all of the different variables that we have in the data set. So here, for example, in row 1, we can see there was a passenger by the name of Miss Elizabeth Walton Allen, and she was 29 years old. She was in first class. We see her ticket number, how much her ticket cost, where she embarked from, because the Titanic first went to Southampton, then Cherbourg, then Queenstown, and finally across the Atlantic. So there's 3 different places where people embarked from. For some of the passengers, we have some job title information. We can see that Miss Elizabeth was in boat number 2, and therefore she survived, so she has a 1 in the survived column. So that's a quick snapshot of the data that we have. So each column represents a different variable. Each row represents a different passenger. We have numeric data, and we have text data. We don't have any date-time data in this particular data set, so that's the only data type that you may notice is missing. Okay, so let's dive into one of the problems that probably all of you face at some point with your data and analyzing it in Minitab. Let's suppose we want to, for example, sort our data. The problem that I'm going to show you could also arise if you're graphing data or analyzing your data. But let's just start with sorting to dive into the problem. So to sort data in Minitab, I'm going to go to the data menu and then sort. So we're going to sort all of the data, and let's say we want to sort by the ages of the passengers. Well, before I can even enter the ages column, what do we see here in Minitab? What's the problem? We can see there very clearly from that second line there that all of our columns are not the same length. And there's going to be lots of data sets where you're going to have missing data, or maybe it doesn't even make sense to have columns that are exactly the same length. But this is going to present a problem if we want to treat all of the data together, for example, in the case of sorting. So how do you easily take care of this problem where your column lengths differ? So I'm just going to OK and cancel out of here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Info, because I want to look at what Minitab sees as my column lengths. So if we come here, we can see on the left the counts for each of the columns. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here in my worksheet, and I'm going to hit the End key on my keyboard to jump to the last row. So if I hit End, Minitab's going to jump to the last row for column C1, and let me just scroll down here a little bit. Okay, so we can see that C1, C2, and C3, you can see on the left there, all of them contain 1,317 rows of data. However, we see that the ticket column has 1,304, and you can see there over on the right that, there's a bunch of missing ticket information. We also see that the job column doesn't have as many rows, and also the boat column doesn't have as many rows. So how do you easily take care of this problem? And there's a really easy, quick trick that we can use. So I'm just going to maximize the worksheet here just so we can see all of the columns at the same time. So what you want to do is you want to go across the last row, which is 1317 in our case. And if you have a numeric column or a date-time column, you want to enter an asterisk in the last row because that's the missing data symbol for numeric and date-time columns. So I'm going to type an asterisk, and then I'm going to hit the Enter key, and I want you to see what happens in that column when I hit Enter. So I entered my asterisk. Now I'm going to hit Enter, and now you can see Minitab filled in missing symbols for that entire column. And if we go back to info, we can see that class now has 1317. Or, I'm sorry, ticket. Ticket was the column that we fixed. Okay, so that was a numeric column, so that's what you do. You go to the last row, hit the star key, enter, and you're done. Problem fixed.